This video is going to show you solo GM getting platinum rank on a Striker Titan build. Just a kind reminder to people, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, as it's super critical to the success of the channel. I'm sure that we're all aware that it's Arc Surge and Stasis Surge this week on the featured GMs, which is Inverted Spire with Haste, Void Threat, Champions of Barrier Overload, etc, etc. So, there's two ways of going with this for Titan. We either do a Stasis Behemoth pure build setup, or a arc pure build. When I say pure build, I mean single element builds. I don't mean prismatic. So whenever I say a purebred build or a single element build, it means just a single element. Yesterday I put out a video best stasis build, and it was best stasis build because prismatic is not a stasis build, Guardian. Prismatic is prismatic build. You can run stasis builds on prismatic, yes, and prismatic is the best. It is the best turret build in the game for Warlocks, but the point of the video was a purebred stasis. What are the best pure single bred builds in the game for stasis? And that was Warlock. So I thought there's no point me doing stasis again on Titan. I'll do an arc one then. All right. So as long as you cleared up on that, if you're not clear on what I just said, well, replay it. I've told you, the situation. So the build itself. So we're using a Thunder Crash, Thruster Dodge, Seismic Strike, Pulse Grenade. Aspects were Knockout, Touch of Thunder. We had on Spark of Haste, Spark of Beacons, Magnitude, and Shock. We paired that with the Exotic Helmet, Precious Scars. Now, before I go more into this, I need to explain to Striker Titan mains here for a minute, because I know there's they still exist out there. You're gonna be disappointed with me, and you want me to run Eternal Warrior, don't you? I know you want it because there's a lot of you asked for it. Eternal Warrior is not that good. I have a solo GM with Eternal Warrior as well, and the run is nowhere near as good as the build that I present to you today. So Eternal Warrior fans, I'm sorry, it's just not that good of an exotic. I can give you more reasoning about that in the run itself. I'll sprinkle that throughout the video somewhere. I also tried Insurmountable Skullfort. It's not very good either. And I'll explain that as well. So those two builds are not as good as Precious Scars. Precious Scars give survivability to Thunder Crash Arc Striker Titans, which they lack. So I think Precious Scars trumps those over exotics, right? I even think Symphoceps trumps those over exotics, which I would have loved to use Symphos with Fist of Havocs, but I didn't go that route because we're using Thunder Crash. So we're using a Kinetic Tremor Scout Rifle, Velocity Baton, and the Arc LMG Thunderlord, pairing that with Precious Scars. The mods are on screen. I'm not going to go into the mods. I can give you a dim link. But yeah, that's literally what we was using for this build. So Striker Titan mains, here's the run. We want to skimmer our way towards the first building. We are going to take care of the Harpies first. If you ignore them, there is a chance of death. For sure, I don't recommend that you do. So we do that by just doing this here. So we'll just use a bit of T-Lord. We'll get amplified with a melee. See, now when we're amplified, we have a fragment that gives us blind explosion via Thunderlord because it's a heavy weapon. Heavy and special weapons cause this. So we'll get a stun with our GL plus Pulse Grenade. We're looking to get another one back. We're halfway to a Pulse. We'll finish off this first Overload with some ammo from T-Lord. Then we'll pick up some of these orbs. We're going to actually just clear these ads because I just felt like doing that to showcase the melee off. So look, Seismic Strike blinds enemies, right? It means they're a very easy cleanup kill on a group of ads. Then we can basically take care of the remaining two overloads with GL plus Pulse Grenade, and then a combination of that with Thunderlord, and that just melts them down. So the Seismic Strike thing that I just mentioned, that is an example of me showing you that is far better than all the other melee options. And I'm not just saying it, because here's the thing with Ballistic Slam. Let's go through it, right? Ballistic Slam doesn't even do enough damage to one-shot ads. Okay? One-shot red bars. Ballistic Slam is in a huge need of a buff. Because I used it today. You can't argue it, Guardian. I've already used it today. I've tried to use Ballistic Slam build. It's shocking. It's bad. Alright. Thunderclap build. Thunderclap's a little bit more useful than Seismic Strike. But even that to me, isn't that good of a melee ability. I don't know why people are sort of fixated on it. I think because it looks like Dragon Ball Z type stuff, so that you think you're effective with it. The animation's too long. There's ways of speeding the animation up, but Seismic Strike is far more a useful tool to me as a player. I'm just giving you the straight up facts on what I think about the Striker Titan melee abilities. There's an adverb with attached to the Seismic Strike. It will blind enemies. That is a survivability kit within itself. That will also stun unstops. Right? Now, Thunderclap has no verbs attached to it. Read the tooltip. Read the tooltip. You will see that. So that is my justification on why I ran Seismic Strike. It's a good tool to use, but it's not that good when you use... if you try and spec into it too much with Insurmountable Skull Fort, you're going to find that that is entirely based on how many red bars you are fighting, because that's all it will help you with. It won't help you with orange bars, yellow bars, champs. You can't really use it on a champ too much. You can, but you lose your you lose your melee ability as soon as you use it on a target that you have not killed. So I don't like that either. Like, there used to be an Insurmountable Skull Fort meta. It was a very long time ago. We're definitely not in that meta. All right, so that's another reason given to you why I didn't spec for that. What I spec'd for instead was healing and pulse grenades, because that's what's so good about Archetype. Now look at this. I'm from the future, Guardian. Look at this. Look at this. What we've got here, where we're standing. Absolutely incredible. I can't believe there's no turnback zone here. I'm surprised there is no turnback zone, but hey, it doesn't matter. We can use it. So we can fight this zone so much different as opposed to usual. Whereas you're fighting all the way back there, then it's awkward with the lasers and the snipers and all that stuff. At least try and get your snipers down, though, before you start to engage with a champ. Then pick a champ, and then I master the art of strafing luck. So what? Look, watch. We're not getting hit by that sniper. Why? I have no cover. Not really. Well, we got hit there, yeah, fair enough. But we don't die in this run because I wouldn't post it. So look, the strafing with the left and right like that is time and the movement between the barrier champs. They've only hit me once so far. Twice. Correction, I stand corrected. Twice. But we haven't died, so it's fine. So it's actually really good to stand here. It's not a bad thing at all. You just need to get used to strafing. Haste is on anyway, so you need to. We'll use a T-Crash, because we need to use one somewhere. We may as well. We got our T-Crash. We used it. And we run through. We don't care about those ads. They're just a time waste anyways. They would give us ammo. Potentially, yes. But I just thought, let's just skip. So this bit, we just want to kill the supplicants. Let's hope maybe we do get some ammo off them, though. That would be kind of cool. Don't let them explode, though. Try and get a kill with your gun. That is a... You won't get ammo off them if they explode, because you've done no damage to them. Unless you've tagged them, that's different. If you've tagged them, then you may get ammo off them. But if you don't do any tagging and they explode, no ammo will drop. No ammo dropped anyways, so... I'm the fool in the end, aren't I? So this room here isn't too bad at all on any build really, because you've got places to stand, you've got places to do damage. We haven't got a T-Crash to use, that's fine. We're going to debuff this champ, this barrier champ at the back, because he's the one that can see us. The red bar sniper is giving us a little bit of issues, but we can outstrafe that, use our thruster dodge as well frequently. That actually stops haste from proccing. So if you're in danger, just use a quick thruster dodge, it stops it. So champ's half HP, we got a good jolt off, that's absolutely good. Champ is dead, now we can work on the next barrier champ, which we can just get quick damage here. So we're copying the weapons that I've done on my previous run, right? The reason being is because this weapon loadout is optimal for Inverted Spire, for any build. So no matter what a build you use, it's not going to matter too much, because you've got weapons to back yourself up. Now, I thought that I would play into the weapons by using Precious Scars. Now, Precious Scars, yeah, you're going to say, well, why have I not got an Arc Scout on? I know you're going to say that. And I'm going to tell you this. Energy scout rifles are really bad right now in Destiny 2. Kinetic scout rifles aren't so bad at all because of kinetic tremors. Kinetic tremors is exclusive to kinetic weapons. That's a given. It says kinetic in the word, right? Energy scout rifles just don't have any good perks on them to make them really good in PvE, apart from explosive payload. Vault shot, alright, to a degree, slightly, only slightly though, because the base damage of a scout rifle isn't very good. Kinetic tremors save scout rifles. It saves kinetic scout rifles, because if they didn't have kinetic tremors, they would be bad as well. So, I didn't want to use an arc scout, because they're bad, and I don't need one. Right? Because you don't need much health. Only at the boss fight do you need the health. You need good health regen at the boss fight. Apart from that, with Inverted Spire, the more I play, the more simplified it is to me now, as opposed to when I first done this 2 weeks ago. You know, I was thinking, okay, this is kind of crazy, but not so much now. I don't think that at all. You know, over time things evolve, and people sort of evolve with a new GM, and I sort of have myself. So I could run this on any build. I could do it with white gear. Seriously, I'm not just saying it, I could. But there's no point me doing that, because the watch time on the run would be too long, and it wouldn't be worth to run it. But I'm just saying that if we can run this build with no HP stuff, then we're good. But I have run a HP build at your mercy, so that you can follow along. I need to think of you in mind more than me. And I think as a player trying to do a Striker Titan solo GM, Precious Scars is the way to go, because Thunderlord is the best exotic in here, in my opinion. So why not put an exotic on that gives you health regen on Thunderlord kills? And we can blind with Thunderlord. It will do a blind explosion with Spark of Beacons when we are amplified. So that was my reasoning. Eternal Warrior users, look, it's not. I'll give you the reason why it's not good. It's not good because it doesn't grant any amplification abilities to Fist of Havoc. It doesn't extend the super. It doesn't generate more lightning shockwaves. It doesn't do anything. It just gives you the overshield. The overshield is a non-factor, really, and it basically is a wasted perk. The weapon time surge 4 is good, but you don't need many surges in solo GM environment anyways, unless you know, say I'm running Anarchy on that build, maybe, yeah, but we've got so much going for Anarchy this season that it doesn't matter. So the surges don't matter either. The times 4 surge aspect of it, for solo GM environment at least, for dungeon DPS that is completely different. Dungeon DPS is heavily reliant on DPS builds and surges. So that, what I've just said, is absolutely opposite for dungeons. It'll have more use in dungeons, yeah, for sure. But in solo GM environment, Eternal Warrior has no place in the game still. I can confidently say it to you because I've tested the build today and I can tell you it. On this build, it's far better for survivability. It's more practical. Precious Scars is a very good exotic. It's a neutral game exotic, and you can apply it to a Solar Titan. Or maybe not so much Solar Titan because you've got the hammer. You can apply it to a Void Titan. You know, you can apply it to many different things. So I'm just trying to promote Precious Scars to you, basically. Get that ammo brick. So the ammo brick I just showed you, yeah, it seems to be a secret to people. Yes, that will feel special and heavy. So spam ammo in that first room. Spam, spam, spam. Spam as much as you want, because you're getting refilled up anyways. Okay, this is all a skip. This is all a huge time waste. Just take the 2 snipers and then shoulder charge across the map. Very, very easy to do. You don't need lion ramparts or anything stupid like that. You just literally can do that. You can make the jump. So, 2 snipers are taken out. Whatever bane it is down there doesn't matter. Even if it's a drain bane, it ain't going to kill us. Don't worry about it. Barrier we need to kill for platinum rank, so we're not skipping him. So we'll get some debuffs going with the GL. Right? Then we'll get our pulse grenade down. The pulse and the jolt is going to do so much damage for us that it means that I basically don't need to use T-Lord. I don't recommend that you use much Thunderlord here, because you're going to want to spam it quite a bit on the Raiden phase. If you want the skip on the tank section, which I promoted that to you yesterday, but I'll promote it again. I guess if you never saw the Warlock video from yesterday, then I'll promote it again and I'll explain it to you. Save a good chunk of heavy. Definitely use it on overloads, but save a bit of a heavy because you're going to want to use it on the Raiden phase, for sure. Right. Make sure you got a pulse grenade, which we just about got. That's because we got a good discipline rating. Okay, so we want to stun overload, right? Well, you can go left, it's up to you. I just end up always going right. We've got a pulse grenade on that Minotaur, on that overload, sorry. Just keep using the GL. We can whip out Thunderlord, but as I said to you, try to manage your ammo a little bit here, because chances are you're not going to get much ammo after double Ravens. So you need to account for that a little bit. So, get another stun on left. We just get our pulse nade. So, do you see how I want to pulse nade both overloads? Because Jolt's just too strong in the game. To never not Jolt an overload is a crime on Arc builds. I mean, if anything that Arc builds have is the Jolt. They're best in slot on overloads for overload damage. That's not including Prismatic. I'm just talking about your single element pure classes. I'm just saying as a verb, Jolt is king on overloads because it stuns an overload twice. Here's the skip. Spawn Sparrow or Skimmer, whatever it is. Come left and just Sparrow the entire battlefield. Do not stop. Avoid red laser and Sparrow to the back of the map. And you'll be good. Kill the Cyclops. I recommend you kill that Cyclops to my left because he can kill you. So look. We're going to pulse nade him. We do crit damage, by the way, with pulse nades on Cyclopses. I know that because of Garden World. You should do it. You should too if you remember Garden World. So we need to debuff this Raven, and then we're going to do some Thunderlord damage. Actually, we're going to T-crash him. I'm lying to you. We'll T-crash him because he looked like he was a safe T-crash. Plus, we can build up towards our next one. But look at what happened. We pushed up too far, and the Thresher started missiling me. Right, the missiles stop though as soon as I come back here. We have a Raven Bane, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Banes of a special target have more HP than their counterparts. This one certainly did feel like he had more HP than the other one. Or generally, when I played this in the past, I know I T-crashed the other one, but you get what I'm saying. He was a healing Bane, and it seems as though the Banes have more HP. I think I'm absolutely correct in saying that. So, we spam T-Lord there. There's ammo drop somewhere. It's on the top there. So we was actually lucky there to get an ammo brick because generally when you push up like this, you don't get an ammo brick. So I was quite lucky there. So we're max on heavy. That's actually fantastic. 15 minutes in. That's good for a Striker Titan, to be honest. Let's get on with the cap and the plates. So cap and the plates we want to deal with the sniper first. Okay, so there's issues with inverted spire of adds teleporting. And I know that much about it. I can tell you which adds teleport and which don't. Isn't it kind of crazy? So the barrier on left plate, left housing, will teleport. The barrier on right will not teleport. Isn't that interesting? And it's not random. It's actually fixated teleport. It will do it every time now because I've done it a few times today. And the barrier on left always ports on you. So you know what? I'm not playing close. I'm not playing close to him. I'm just gonna scout him down and stuff because it's a annoyance. Not only that, drains Banes are teleporting on you on the left plate. This is exclusive to the left plate. The bottom plate's fine. The top, the plate behind me is fine. It's just this one. So I'm going to deal with that one first. So look, I take down the crystal. I'm going to stand all the way back here to try and stop teleport. That's exactly what we're going to do here. These legendaries have pushed. That's fine. We can just scout them down. Barrier has a line of sight, so we have to be careful there. They are deadly from a range, barriers. That's their party trick. So what we're also going to do, because on my previous run he kept porting on me, I'm just going to T-crash him. I think I just decided to T-crash. Yep, we're doing exactly that. We just T-crash the barrier. That's him done with. That's it. Because it is nice to have a super for a plate, but we're going to get it back anyways, because look, we're going to do it with the next barrier. So rather than cap a plate right away, we're not. We're going to actually build up a T-crash from these adds. So we get a good pulse grenade down, plus debuffs off, kinetic tremors, the champ. Get another pulse grenade down, that's good damage. It means I use less Thunderlord damage. See, a pulse grenade does that much for us. It generates that many ionic traces that it's just that powerful. It really is. So it saves on ammo. On champs, we don't need to spam as much ammo on them. So we need to T-Lord here the supplicants. They are the danger. We do not have a Roman super, so there is a chance of death, but Precious Scars will help us. That's exactly what Precious Scars was doing there, was healing us as we kill the supplicants. Like, look at that. He explodes, we get health regen. So good on this, because even though, yes, I'm not using an Arc Scout rifle, and if I did, I would get more healing, it doesn't matter, because we only ever need healing when it's critical. And when it's critical, we have T-Lord in our hands. Every other element of the strike or GM is scout based from 50 meters away. So what would we benefit from, I ask you the viewer, if we had an Arc Scout on and we're getting health regen at 50 meters away? What's the benefit there? Because haste won't kill you. Haste will not kill you. It will only get you one shot, but an ad will clean you up. But 50 meters away, no ad is killing you at 50 meters. At 60 meters, snipers won't, because they don't understand how to hit you from 60 meters. They didn't go through boot camp sniper training, whatever. They have range drop off. So there's absolutely no point. We may as well just use Kinetic Tremor Scout. It speeds the run up. Don't you understand? If we run an Arc Scout, the run's 10 minutes longer because of it. Because there's loads of times when we're using our Scout on champs and on ads. An explosive payload, although it was a king of a gun, a king of a perk, it's been dethroned now by Kinetic Tremors, really. It's the king. Absolutely is the king of sustained damage in GMs on a primary weapon. There's no better perk than it. Not even Volt Shot's better, but Jolt and Feedback is good though. I've already showed you that in previous vids. Same thing again, look at the healing that we're getting. We also got debuff via haste. This goblin ate my T-Crash. Thank you very much. I reckon he eats them on a daily basis, T-Crashes, this guy. So we've actually lost ammo because of this. I would estimate 20 ammo for Thunderlord, which is no big deal, right? It's not that big of a deal. It isn't. Shock Bane here, we need to deal with him. So are you learning from this? You don't need to cap the plate right away. You could literally stand on the plate and then just kill all the ads, then cap the plate. There's no need to even stand on that plate, to be honest. Which, you know, previously I've been using Roman Supers to survive on plates, but I'm like, you know something, you don't even need a Roman Super because there's not infinite waves of ads on those plates. They're actually fixated ad waves. It's not like inside Terminus where it's infinite ads and stuff. It's fixed ads. So you can step on plate, jump off plate. You can really jump out of the house if you really want and just scout them all down. If you want to play super safe, you can do that. We get a really good jolt on this Hydra here. That's exactly what we want, because these Hydras are tanky and Kinetic Tremors doesn't always do damage because it's hitting his shield, so it's taken the Scout longer to kill the Hydra. So getting a jolt on the Hydra speeds it up. We've got a T-Crash to use, but let's have a look at where that damn Hydra is, because look, he's off map. If we T-Crash him, I might fall off. He's come back on map. We need debuff, and we should be T-Crashing him. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I do, look. T-Crash him. There we go. He's dealt with. Now, I don't want to spam Thunderlord here now too much, because look, where our ammo is 122, which, yes, there is a brick heavy ammo crate at the next section, but we're not going to use that until after the encounter is done. So to do the encounter, we do need some Thunderlord ammo, and we do get it. It's simple. To get heavy ammo, just spam special ammo. See, Velocity Baton is a spam weapon, to spam it over and over. So you get enough kills with this gun, you'll eventually get heavy. And that exactly happens. See, I bet there's a heavy ammo box somewhere behind me, but I haven't took the time to go and look for the ammo. I've just skipped. Alright, I've just skipped, that's it. We get a jolt off here, then we're going to use T-Lord just in case these Sentinel things kill us. We don't want that to happen. Okay, that's good. Also, we've got Arc Holster on for Thunderlord. I highly recommend it. Anytime you're using a machine gun in Solo GM, use holster mods. They are more valuable than anything else on the boots. You don't need to spec in for surges as much these days in Solo GMs because they give you a surge for free. This surge is this week it's Arc Surge and Stasis Surge. Right now, I know that Thunderlord isn't. Oh, sorry, it is Arc, so it's getting the surge. So there you go. We don't need additional surges on the boots. We don't need it. We're all right. We're good enough without it. It's not going to be the difference maker. So we get our scan here. We need to recognize when supplicants spawn in. I mentioned this the other day. There's 2 waves of supplicants. It is phase 2 and phase 4 of this middle phase. If anyone's actually critically counting the phases on this, which I highly doubt. But I'll point it out when the supplicants actually spawn up. It's not this phase. So we just want to melt these adds and we are waiting, right, for the next wave. We're also looking at ammo drops. Look at my ammo now. It's much more healthy than what it was, which it's right because we got some bricks off our special weapon kills. We have a T-Crash to use, which is not going to help us against supplicants at all. So we're going to play a bit more reserved with supplicants and make sure that we do not wipe to them. Supplicant wave is here. So let's get some GL shots down. Supplicants are coming in. We're going to go on a map rotation because look, they're bugging. They're bugging. Look at this. So just run back and forth. They will explode. Boom, you're done. And then look at then this Minotaur should not be here, by the way, and he is. Nearly knocks us off map. We'll shoulder charge. What? He's just trolling us now. We missed our melee. Yeah, weird. There's been a lot of ads teleporting. I'm indifferent to it now. I've had to deal with teleporting ads for that amount of years now that I expect it as a feature. I literally account for it. Look at this harpies. What? I'm accounting for it at all times. Is an ad going to teleport? Is an ad going to teleport? And if I know that they may teleport, I'm prepared for it. I've just been that used to it. It's nothing new. When I hear people say about teleporting ads, I really do roll my eyes because it's been in the game as a feature since 2017. Where have you been? Have you been living in a rock? This has always been like this. At one stage, it was worse than this at one time. It's bad. What's happening now in the game is it's bad in certain activities, not all activities. So, certain activities, it's really bad. Some it isn't, you know, and GM seems to be a location where there is a lot of teleporting ads. I have a theory, and I think it's because a lot of people are playing the GM. So when a lot of people are playing the GM, I think that's stress on the server for that particular activity, probably. Because if I go on patrol, I can guarantee you there's no ads TPing. There's been no ads TPing for me. Lost sectors, no ads TPing. It's GM. It's GM quite frequently, maybe a bit of Onslaught as well, TP and ads on there. Those are the 2 zones I've seen ads teleporting the most. Okay, another supplicant phase. We need to play passive-aggressive by jumping over their heads. Never stand still with them, look. And that's a good way of dealing with them. Just to jump over their heads. If a supplicant has a head, then we jump over it. I wonder how supplicants drink, because they haven't got a mouth. How are harpies drinking? They've got no mouth on them. I always wondered that. I guess they drink that Vex milk. They absorb it through the biometric DNA thing, whatever they've got. So Overload has spawned in. We're searching for that T-Crash. Which, by the way, even though T-Crash is not a Roman super, it's getting as much super regen as one. To be honest. That's what I felt like in this run. I felt like T-Crash... I don't think we should be getting this amount of T-Crashes, to be honest. I think they need to walk this buff back for the T-Crash thing. Because it's not a Roman super, so I don't know why it's equal in a Roman super in terms of recharge rate. I'm just thinking that right now to myself, why that's like that. I guess when we're amplified and stuff. But yeah, it just seems to be getting a lot of intellect recharge rate. I'm not knocking it because I'm on a solo and I kind of do want more T-Crashes, to be honest. It's just an observation, I'm telling you. And that is another reason why you don't need Fist of Havoc. See, Fist of Havoc, it's not putting out the damage. The only time it will put out the damage for you is if you run Synthoceps, and Titans lately seem to be on a Synthocep hiatus. Titan mains, talk to me. Why are you so far against Synthocep usage when it's literally your best exotic, Titan mains? I don't get it. You seem to be trying to search for something flashy. Just think damage buff. Damage buff, damage buff, damage buff. That's what you need to prioritize, or survivability. In this case, I didn't go damage buff, did I? I went survivability build with Precious. So those are your number 2 build crafting points. You either spec for damage or survivability, or both if you can. Everything else is just a non-factor, and you trying to be flashy. Try not to overbuild craft your emotion, Guardian. You're trying to emit some sort of power fantasy that you cannot manipulate in real life, so you're trying to take it out in D2. You're trying to do some specialized stuff like, you know, Kepri's Horn, Solar Titan builds and stuff like this, and trying to generate solar blasts to try and kill a champ with a barricade. And I don't know what, and I don't know why, but Titans, I know you have struggled with exotics over the years, but Synthoceps, don't knock it too much, because it's one of the best things that you have. Without Synthoceps over the years, I don't know where Titans would be. I really don't know where Titans would be in the meta. They seriously would be the worst class in the game if it wasn't for Synthoceps saving the class since 2017, and it literally has. Things are better now than what it used to be. There are more builds available. Like, for example, the Void Exotic Helm that grants Devour on a Titan is actually very important, and I will use it one day. There's Doomfang Pauldron's build. There's Cadmus Lance, Diamond Lance build, which is not bad. You know, there's Icefall Mantle build, which is also not bad. So there's more things for Titans going. But like I say, don't knock the Synthoceps too much when your solo damage is the most critical point. Mainly either that or survivability, because if, say for example, you spec for survivability instead of damage, it doesn't matter too much, because at least you can survive during the damage phase with a reduced rate of damage. So I'm doing less damage, right, than maybe Curious the Fallen Star exotic, because I'm not wearing it, but it doesn't matter because I can out tank the stuff with my Precious Scars build. I'm just giving you 2 different ways of doing it. You could definitely do Curious of the Fallen Star because it's more damage, isn't it? But there's less survivability on that build. I'm just giving you the pros and cons of each build back to back. But I think most Striker Titan mains, which yes, they still do exist in the game, should lean towards your Precious Scars and your Synthocept type builds, as opposed to like Skull Fort or things like that. For solo GM environment stuff. We're going to T-crash our way through this skip, because we are not killing Cyclopses. That would waste us approximately 16 minutes and 19 seconds. Do I have time to be wasting 16 minutes and 19 seconds to kill 10 Cyclopses? Absolutely not, because that would double my time on my run. I ain't doing that. So we're just skipping, and we're just going to hope that one of these harpies gives me a heavy brick. Because yes, you can put a banner in, but I have a theory, when a GM has a banner in it, you are less likely to get heavy ammo after you have put a banner in. I know that sounds weird, but I played Inverted Spire enough this week to understand there's not many heavy bricks dropping. Why is there no heavy bricks dropping? Barely. Well, that's because you've done something in the game where you've put a banner and recuperated all ammo, and I think the game is aware that there's some secret timer going on, and it's aware that you've put a banner in, so you get reduced ammo as a result to balance you out. Like, I think it's crazy. I really do. The ammo's not dropping properly at the boss fight. It's absolutely confirmed. Tell me anybody else your thing on that. Solo wise, not team. I don't care about team because teams can melt this boss very quickly. Solo though, what are you like for ammo drops? Because I'm not getting many at all. I am getting them. I'm getting maybe 1 brick per platform, if that. If that. Okay, so we DPS boss with T-Crash, which does... We are testing. So we do half of a bar. I need to know that reference point for plate 2. So we've tested plate 2's damage on plate 1. Does that make sense? So now I know what I'm capable of on plate 2 damage. Now with Curious the Fallen Star, I would do a third. probably. Maybe not a third, but just below a third, let's say. Right? Succubus would have been better in that sense, right? To immediately wipe a plate. That is strong, I must admit. But we're showcasing Precious Scars off, so now I'm looking at ammo drops, because I don't want to spam too much ammo on plate 1. Because you need a bit of ammo for plate 2, to be honest, if I'm being honest, special-wise as well. So we are just, we have a special brick, so we have license to spam special. Look at this, the boss can't hit me. We're jumping up and down. Haste has not procced once. That is the absolute strat, is just to be more mobile. In a GM, your mobility needs to be increased much more on haste. You may as well play with the mod rather than against it. And on Titan, it's a much better experience than Warlock for the haste mod, because Titans are zippier. They zip around much better, and I think like an aggressive Titan build is very nice to run on a haste GM. Warlocks can out-tank them with rifts, but when your rift's gone, then what? Do you know what I mean? Warlocks actually feel kind of clunky on this as well. Hunter, I haven't played Hunter yet. We will strategize on what Hunter build I'm going to do for tomorrow or tonight or whatever it might be. You can link down below what you want. But it probably should be Arc or Stasis build, to be honest, unless you're like some specialist Void Hunter that wants to seek the old truths of the Vanguard myths of volatile Hunter builds, because that seems to be a key term that you're searching. I don't know why you're searching volatile Hunter build all the time, but that seems to be the most common Hunter search at the minute. Volatile Hunter build. And I don't know why. Grafalcon's good, but man, is it that good? To be searching it all the time? A continual state of searching volatile Hunter builds? Man, I'll have to do Grafalcon, won't I? The thing is, it's not Void Surge though, so you know, we need to play to the surge because everybody values it. Now look at this, I'm nearly dead. Here we go. Precious Scars party trick. Precious Scars party trick, 37-minute timestamp. There you go. That's why we run Precious Scars. If that was Curious the Fallen Star, if that was Symphoseps, if that was anything else, you're dead. I'd have died there. I'd have probably died there. It was a bit of bad movement to get me to that position. And there was some unfortunate circumstance. But look at that. We was able to survive when we maybe shouldn't have survived, and that's why I recommend like a Precious Scars build this week, because T-Lord is the best exotic in this, so let's buff T-Lord by getting health regen on kills with T-Lord. It's really common sense, straightforward, down the line, blunt. Very blunt with you, but it's telling you exactly, look, common sense prevails, you know, it's better than Anarchy. I'll tell you why it's better than Anarchy, because Anarchy cannot kill Harpies. Who the hell is 360 jumping up with Anarchy and melting Harpies in the air and leaping up? Ain't no player doing this. Ain't no player doing that. It's impossible to do such things unless you get that lucky stick, but then you're dead if you miss. So, although the pro to Anarchy, and I have soloed this with Anarchy, so I'm not saying I haven't either. I'm just saying the massive pro to Anarchy is that you can do damage over time and run around. That is very good for plate 2, but for plate 3 there's no power gain because you need to kill the ads and the harpy spawn in the air. So Anarchy's great for plate 1, plate 2, but Thunderlord is good for all plates. Not as good for plate 1 and 2, but very, very good for plate 3. Guess what? You need to spec for plate 3 as well, because if you only spec for plate 1 and 2 and die on plate 3, you're going to orbit. Do you want to go to orbit? Sounds like you want to do a solo and then go to orbit. Don't want to be going to orbit. So I'm checking T-crash damage. Notice, are you noticing what happened there? The HP that the damage that the boss took was less than phase 1. I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's just kill these harpies. So kill it. Look at this party trick. Look at the party tricks that Precious Scars is doing. The only downside to Precious Scars is this. It looks ugly. It's an ugly teapot on your head. And that's why Titans don't want to use it. I know. But look, it's just so useful. Look at this. I'm getting melted. No, I'm not. I can T-Lord you. You know? But no, let's just talk about this. So I think Protheon Modular Mind has back-end HP skill. If you don't know what that means, basically he seems tankier on the back end as opposed to the front end. Do not take that out of context. That, I'm talking strictly game. I'm not talking about real world events. So he seems tankier on the back end of his HP bar as opposed to his front end of his HP bar, which is dead weird. I've just noticed that because the T-Crash was less damage on plate 3 as opposed to plate 1. Or the chunk of the yellow bar was less. I don't know, that's weird. It's very weird to me. He does feel tanky as well. When I'm trying to scout him on this phase, my kinetic tremors is doing nothing to him. He does. He feels worse on plate 3 as opposed to plate 1 and 2 in all cases. He blinds us there. We run around. That's fine. I was very disoriented. He flashbanged me. Just pick a place to DPS like so. Keep moving about for haste, of course. Add spawn in. This is where you want to stand. Okay, we're going to clear out these harpies. Party trick with precious scars. Again, look. I'm blinded. Quickly get a kill. Because we're sitting duck there, right? But we get our health regen without having to move around. Boom, we're survived. We've survived that phase because we quickly killed the harpies with Thunderlord plus Precious to survive. Made it really easy. It made it a lot easier than what it would have been without health regen. Okay. So now I'm doing an advanced technique. I shoot the head off the goblin so he runs to me so that I can get ammo off him. If the possibility that they drop heavy, it drops in the middle of the floor rather than on the Vex Milk. Do you want an ammo brick in the Vex Milk? You don't. It's an annoyance. It's definitely an annoyance to me. I think about it all the time. I want the brick in mid. Simple. Break the head off a goblin and then you can kill him in mid. Although what I've told you didn't help me because I didn't get any heavy off him. Like I said to you, my theory, if there's a raid banner in any GM at all, there seems to be a reduced chance of heavy because you put a banner in. That is an hypothesis. It's not factual, but it's a good educated guess because I've done enough Inverted Spire this week to know how much heavy he's actually dropping. I actually am remembering per run, on a per run basis, how many bricks I'm getting, and it's a consensus between all my runs this week that I'm getting reduced heavy at the boss fight. Not up until the boss fight, at the boss fight. Okay, especially plate 3, barely. I would say across all my runs I've got a handful of bricks, which it's unfortunate because this strat kind of relies on a little bit of heavy, so we have to limit our heavy usage a little bit, which is kind of annoying. So what we're doing here is I tried to see if I could kill boss, but definitely can't. Pulse grenade, debuff, then T-Crash, leaves the boss weak. That wasn't worth doing. It was probably worth just to edge the boss, then kill the fanatics, then do a super. So I thought, you know, maybe I'll just chunk out the damage. That's one pro to Curious of the Fallen Star, by the way, is that you would be able to kill the boss outright there and you'd be done. But it's a game of cards. You need to think about it. Do you want to have it where you can outright kill him, but you need to do the run without HP? Or do you want to do the run with a HP build but less damage? That is the question that you need to, that is the debate that you need to have with yourself on what you're going to choose between the two. I think for lesser skilled players, Precious Scars is the way to go. I even think on aggressive play styles, Precious Scars is a good way to go. You can play more aggressive as a result, because you're going to proc healing as you're running and gunning, which allows you to get more chain kills quicker, because you don't need to mess around with the haste mod as much. So I also think that. So I think both ways, whether you're casual or not casual, I still think it's a very good way to go in this. We are out of ammo completely. We have explored all ammo, special and heavy. There might be some in the Vex Milk, but I ain't risking it. I'm just going to have to kill him with the Scout. That was a solo GM on this Striker mains. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.